This was the liveliest brothel in Paris, and the most famous courtesan here was Jean. She was adored by men for her sharp wit and charm. Even King Louis XV of France fell head over heels for her. With the king's favor, Jean soared to the top overnight and became Versailles' chief royal mistress. Under Louis XV's protection, no noble dared disrespect her openly. She held her place in Versailles, almost like the lady of the house. But this wouldn't last for long, because Marie, a princess from Austria, was about to marry the Dauphin, Louis. At the banquet, Princess Marie was supposed to be the star of the night, but she had to wait hungry. No one could eat before the king arrived. Wanting to make a good impression, Marie played along. Eventually, the king finally arrived, escorting Jean, fashionably late. What was meant to be a celebration for the Dauphin quickly became Jean's spotlight. It felt like she had stolen the show. People whispered, but Jean didn't notice at all. She was so used to sitting center stage that she seemed to forget. Marie was supposed to be the main guest. Worse yet, during the meal, she openly flirted with the king. The nobles, already annoyed with Jean, took this chance to criticize her background and pulled the Dauphin into their camp.
Vous savez que la créature n'a absolument pas le droit de vous parler tant que vous lui avez pas adressé la parole la première. Vous savez ça? Vous savez?
Oui, dans ce cas-là, je me déclare sa rivale.
Two queens can't rule the same court. Thus began the war between these two women. Marie, as both Austrian princess and future queen of France, couldn't be seen befriending someone like Jean. And the nobles, who already looked down on Jean, finally had an excuse to form a united front against her. Before, they held back out of respect for the king. But now the tide had turned. Marie, the Dauphin, was the true mistress of Versailles. And Jean, once thriving at court, began losing her ground. Marie not only disliked her, she openly ignored her. A public slap in the face. The nobles gleefully watched the drama unfold, unaware that in doing so, they were also challenging the king's authority. As Marie painted a self-portrait with grace, King Louis XV stormed in. He didn't say a word, but his face was filled with fury. He knew his daughters had stirred things up, and he knew exactly what the nobles were plotting. Used the Dauphin to force Jean out. Without uttering a single word, Louis glared around the room with quiet authority, then turned and left. His message was clear. If the alliance between France and Austria was to continue, the queen would have to reconcile with Jean. Realizing the gravity of the situation, Marie quickly sent a messenger, inviting the king and Jean to a comedy performance. But Louis didn't buy the private gesture. He wanted something more public. Marie understood the hint. She orchestrated a chance encounter while Jean was out walking. And finally, she said her very first words to Jean.
Il y a bien du monde aujourd'hui à Versailles.
Stunned by the Dauphin's kindness, Jean was so overwhelmed, she forgot how to respond. Once she realized the words were indeed for her, she was giddy with joy, like an excited child. She rushed into the meeting room, unable to contain herself.
Elle m'a parlé!
The ministers were speechless, but Jean was over the moon. She threw herself into the king's arms to celebrate. The ministers said nothing, but their expressions said it all. The king didn't mind. To him, Jean's innocence was endearing. With Louis XV backing her, Jean held on to her place in Versailles. Everything seemed to be going well again. Life returned to normal, but good times never last. Louis XV suddenly fell ill, and that would change everything for Jean.